and we're interested in basically if you are deconstructing a certain kind of technological system or maybe a social system, often we end up without, let's say, clarity of expression. So we end up sometimes with a mess. And the question is then what do you do with that? Where does the process continue in order to express an artistic position or an attitude, or is it that we are in a process of creating a new kind of system? So this was a lot of the discussion that we had last year at the last festival when we were talking about this futurity idea, where we've sort of gone beyond our notion of what future was as a kind of vocabulary obstacle, and I guess it's a kind of an attempt to basically shuffle certain kinds of elements. And there was a lot of discussion also today about the trans idea, the trans notion, which of course is not new in itself, but it is not very often applied in a sense of actually dealing with this element of process. Often we mix, for example, maybe a cross-disciplinary practice with a transdisciplinary practice, and it becomes also even trendy to do that, because maybe trans has been used too much, and in some places you see, well, okay, we're not going to talk about trans anymore, we talk about cross, but I believe that that's, of course, a completely different kind of concept. So what we're trying to also establish is a bit of a plaidoyer, in some sense, for let's say vocabulary clarity, or something. And in the case of the Vasa project, the notion of the transdisciplinary practice, if I understood it correctly, is implied in basically every form of artistic practice. And for me, that becomes interesting then to see, well, what happens then when, let's say, one artistic practice has evolved to such a point that it's not identifiable anymore, and does it sort of like enter the realm of another kind of practice? So where are those points, let's say, fusing and merging in the Vasa project? And are you coming out with a whole range of new kinds of, say, cultural icons and practices? So.
And Giovanni, you wrote, the media environment is a context where art becomes a spreadable political gesture.
Yeah, I write this.
What you write this to me, and what
I think
from what viewpoint do
I think
can we intend what you?
yeah, I think more of us have an idea of media, of medium, that became from a McLuhan perspective or something like this. But I think we need to go in a post-McLuhan perspectives. Media are not a technology of mediation of the representation. Yes, it's true, it's a technology of mediation representation, but media today, we need to consider media an environment. I mean, from a psychological and bodily point of view, media are an environment where we grow, we live, we produce some processes like reflexivity. I mean, some possibilities like a second order of observation. I mean, media are an environment where we grow, introducing a point of view on the world, and we can construct life and produce life into the media today. I mean, when McLuhan write about the media, he think about cinema, television, and so on. When I think about media, and when I think to the immersive media, I don't think about only to the process of reflexivity on the fiction, on the movie, and so on. But I think about a virtual world. Virtual world changes the perspective. Virtual world explicit the nature of the environmental nature of the media.